Are you moving to Winterville, North Carolina? Today we wanted to talk about top 3 best neighborhood in Winterville, North Carolina. Of course, pricing and lifestyle in those neighborhoods.
Now, you've probably heard about Winterville, or here's what you were probably doing. You're looking up Greenville, and then 3 clicks later, you're looking at Winterville. And you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference between Greenville and Winterville anyway? Is Winterville a suburb? What is it? Why is it more expensive? Is it boring? Or is the best place to live in Pitt County? Which, of course, I think it is. So let's talk about every single day. We talk to people who are relocating here, and they ask us about the differences. And maybe sometimes they're going to think Grimesland is best for their life, and that's cool. But we chose Winterville, so of course that's my secret favorite. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to do a deep dive into Winterville today, and we're going to talk about the real cost of living, the lifestyle, a little bit about traffic, and a little bit about the neighborhoods here.
Exactly. By the way, that was our first question too when we wanted to move to this area. And we picked also Greenville, but we moved to the Winterville part, which is the suburb to the Greenville.
And just to give you a fun story, when we first moved to our house, which is in an amazing location, but my husband, when he would first driving to work every single day, he would say, why did my wife move me to the country? Even though it's not country at all. But we had never lived in suburbs before, so that was just our recollection because we came from big cities.
Exactly. Therefore, today, now we wanted to talk about what's going on. Let's go. The first thing that we wanted to talk about, the vibe. No, if the Greenville, the engine of the area, the Pitt County, North Carolina. Why? Because we have the university, which is East Carolina University, as known as ECU, and the hospital, which used to be Wydant Medical Center. Now that is under umbrella of the ECU, and we have ECU Medical Center, and they are the big hubs for the jobs and the people that they moved here.
And also all the big tech companies that are moving here,
Exactly.
Those are all in Greenville.
Exactly. Therefore, if you used to be, what do you want to
I was just going to basically say, if Greenville is the engine, Winterville is the front porch where people live,
okay.
right? So
that's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. It's where people choose to live. And it used to be a tiny blip on the map, but it's really not anymore. It's highly desirable, and it's very
exploding.
Different.
And it's exploding that feels distinct city, actually. As we said, when we moved here, was like it was, we didn't know even where's the Winterville is.
Well, we walked everywhere.
Now,
so
if you get the small town community feel, you know where you actually know your neighbors, but you are literally 5 or 10 minutes from all the big cities amenity in Greenville. That's what we were talking about, the Winterville, North Carolina.
And you're not out in the sticks anywhere. It's not the country, as my husband had first said. But another good thing is you're not listening to all the college parties on the downtown area.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the money.
Absolutely.
No? Because it's why most of you are watching, because you wanted to know how much your money goes further and where you're going to end up to live in the community, because that is the most important part for you, because you care about your security, your safety, and the cost of living and the houses that are available in the market of the Winterville, North Carolina.
And a few years ago, Winterville was the affordable alternative because the taxes were cheaper that people would go to. But honestly, that is not necessarily the case these days. There is still incredible value, but the secret's definitely out. It's not so much of a secret anymore, and that is not a truth anymore. In fact, it is a little bit more expensive. But your dollar is going to go a long way here. And even if you're looking at large new constructions on larger lots, you are still very close to the city center, very close to wherever you need to go, but you're living more in the suburbs area.
Exactly.
Right.
Therefore, in reality, because the Winterville is not just one thing, it's very different pockets that we were talking about. And we are seeing folks that sell this home in the bigger metros and move to here in Winterville, North Carolina, and realize they can get upgrade and lifestyle significantly for the same money payment that they were paying.
Or significantly less.
Oh, yeah.
You have to know where to look. Winterville isn't just one thing. It definitely has some different pockets. So we're going to talk about 3 different areas in there that you need to know and you need to talk about it. We will eventually, we want to in the 2026 have some walking tours of these communities, but that's on the horizon. So right now we're just going to talk about them. And so the first one is what?
First one is really Villa Grande. No, if you want a higher and established feel, this is one of the neighborhood that you can look. The traffic is less, and as my wife said, it's still you are very close. And vicinity to all the amenities that you like to have.
Now, I also want to point out here that the retention, people bought this, yes, there's new construction, yes, it's on the last phase, but the retention on the ones that have already lived in the community is incredible because they're moving there and staying there, and that is just something to know. So if you're looking for the manicured lawns, the quiet streets, it is one of those neighborhoods that where when you go down the street, you can feel that people actually live in this area. And we have a whole video on, actually. We did the driving tour. We used to do a walking tour. So that's just one.
Exactly, and when we break down the HOA, everything about the street and the neighborhood feeling that you can definitely watch in our channel. And the second neighborhood that is on demand is Savannah Place. This is another heavy hitter in the area. Savannah Place offers actually a slightly different flavors. It's incredibly popular for families and people that wants to have a strong sense of the community. The homes have great layouts, and it's one of those spots that when people seeing out walking with their dogs and riding bikes in the evening, and is very nice area.
Basically, you can look online. The interiors and the street view of why people are picking Savannah Places makes it so obvious. It's custom homes. And let's talk about another one that's really new or that I originally wanted to put in an older community. I was going to talk about Treetop because that's just kind of in the center of everything. And I almost picked it. However, I did want to say I wanted to think about ones that are good for pricing, and I wanted to add in instead Davenport Farms.
Exactly. Therefore, this is also another area because it has more modern touch with the low maintenance living in the area, which is off of the Thomas Langston Road, and it has a variety of the housing stocks and is not just the cookie cutter that you see in online or any shows that you're seeing. And what we wanted to add.
Now I want to add, let's talk about the cons for all of these, right? Let's talk about what, people think, oh, pros and cons. What is the downside of Winterville? And the number one is going to be the upcoming major construction and the construction on the roads I'm specific about, which also brings us back to traffic.
Exactly. But this is not particular to some of this neighborhood. For example, if you're looking at Savannah Place or Davenport Farm, you might have less trafficy that we were talking about. No, you have
more traffic, but you're closer. You're getting closer to where you need to be, which is why I put it there. But it's not necessarily you're going to have less traffic, but we have to compare what we think about when we think of traffic. Because when I grew up, traffic was an all-day event. If I look at LA, I just think I don't ever want to live there. Why do I never want to live there? Because I don't want to spend hours of my life in my car.
I didn't live in LA, but we live in Miami.
And Miami was bad enough too. And,
the traffic never stops. It's 24/7.
Exactly. And you're literally just sitting in your car. Whereas here, Winterville is a quiet area to live.
We're talking about like a 10,
and we're talking if there's a lot of traffic, 20. Yeah. If there's a lot. But normally 10 to 15 minutes.
Therefore, another thing that also is the cons is the nightlife. When we're talking about big city or metropolitan area like LA, Miami, or any part of the country that you know of, Winterville is a quiet place. We don't have that much of a nightlife. If you're looking at for club, high-end lounge, a walkable downtown bar scene, you are going to drive into the Greenville a little bit for that because we don't have it specifically designed for Winterville North Carolina.
Now, if you love restaurants, Winterville has plenty of restaurants. If you like to just go to a craft beer, these are actually my places. My Irish side says, where's the beer? I'm in. But it's a slower pace of life. We're not talking about a bar scene. We're talking about local restaurants where you can bring your family. So basically, who is Winterville for? This is going to be for someone who is looking for a quieter spot to raise our children, which is what we chose. Or you're just looking for a quieter place with a little bit of a yard, but you are close enough to everything you might need. And you are looking for someone there. Basically, you're looking for a home base.
Exactly. And here's the bottom line. You can look at the Zillow all day long and you can look at the photos, but you cannot smell the air. You don't know how the road noises look like. You don't know how the neighborhood feeling, the vibe of the neighborhood is. That's why we have also so many driving tour in different neighborhoods in our channel.
Or we help people. We help people who call us every single day with making the decisions, and we will walk the walk for you and show you on our phone if you need to. I've done it many, many times.
Exactly.
People move here every single day. We know which areas not to show you because of flooding, or where the builder might have cut corners, or where the neighborhoods are going to increase in value. We pay attention because we live in our area. So we're not just, this is our home. So we look about it all the time.
And if you're looking to move to Greenville or Winterville, North Carolina, please contact us. Alan Victoria Pinder, real estate agent in Pitt County, specifically Greenville and Winterville, North Carolina. And we are here to help you. Don't forget, look at all of our playlists here, because we had tons of information and videos about different things about these areas, Greenville and Winterville, North Carolina. And don't forget to subscribe in our channel, leave us a comment, or give us a call or book a Zoom call with us. We love to connect with you and helping you.
Google Meet.
And have a wonderful day.